Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tanya Cottrell. I am your Blue Diamond upline. And hang on here, I'm getting my settings changed around a little bit. And I'm here to talk to you about doing essential oil studies. This is an incredible strategy that we are launching out on our team. And I am so excited for all of you to join us. So whether you've done them before and you're ready to get people on your team to join you and you're ready to do it again, or you've never even heard of studies and you want to know what it's all about, we're here to go through all of the details and fully train you so that you can use this strategy to grow and build your business. So I would say this is not the main typical traditional way that we build our business, and we don't want it to replace the foundations of how we build our business with going out and just teaching classes, basic intro classes, or meeting with people one-on-one to share the oils with them and enroll that way. That's the foundation. That should be always happening. And so as you do this study, remember that your month should include some of that as well if you want to grow a healthy business. But periodically, it's really fun to do something a little different that has the ability to scoop in some people that maybe we didn't get in before. So with that said, I'm going to introduce my co-host tonight. Angela Watkins is here with us. I'm on the West Coast. She's on the East Coast. Hi, Angela. She is a Diamond leader on our team. And Angela and I were in Prague together in October, along with several other leaders that are on this call. Not everyone, but some of them. And so we had the privilege of training with doTERRA's top wellness advocate leader, Elise and Patrick Chedevy. They are triple diamonds. And studies, essential oil studies is something that they came up with and started implementing on their team. And it has shown incredible results and high enrollment rates. So we were fortunate to get her full strategy and all of the details on how to run these effectively. And I have run some with a few builders on my team, kind of in smaller groups, just to do some test runs and to see what works and what doesn't. We've tweaked it over the last year, and I think we really have it down and we're ready to launch it team-wide. And I know several leaders have been playing around with them too. And so this is going to be big as we invite our whole team in. So let me just start with explaining what is a study, because if you haven't heard of this, you probably have a lot of questions. You think of like oil studies and laboratories and scientists and medical facilities and all of that. So what I want to tell you up front is it's not a medical study. That's not our intention. We're not going to pretend like it's a medical study. We're going to be really upfront with our guests in explaining to them, this is just an experience that helps us watch and see how people respond to essential oil samples and the education that we provide. And the feedback is really helpful to us as we learn and constantly improve how we're educating people about oils. Okay, so it's not a medical study. It's an interesting study. I would say for fun, but it's more than that because it has the power to really change lives. And our goal is really to get people to experience the oils, learn about them, and of course, get them started on their own journey in doTERRA. So a study is going to be something that's done over the course of 10 days. And it includes some education up front with you as the wellness advocate educating them, some education online that we will provide for 10 days, and then some follow-up and enrolling at the end. So it's really fun, and it's honestly really easy. Building a doTERRA business is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. But studies, I feel like they're easy. It's all laid out for you. As long as you're willing to go invite people to participate and you're willing to follow up with them and do a little bit of teaching, you can do it and you can get high enrollments. So I just love it, and I'm really excited. I'm going to have Angela talk to you a little bit about why are they so great? Why do they work so well? And why do we think that it would be really smart for you to jump in on this? Can you share a little bit, Angela, from your perspective?
Yeah, thanks, Tanya. So one of the reasons why I am so excited about studies and why I think that they are just such a great opportunity is it really gives you, no matter where you are in your business, it gives you a different way to approach people that either maybe have not expressed a lot of interest in sampling in the past, in the way that we traditionally invite people to sample, but also people who you may even feel a little bit intimidated to approach. And there's just something about coming up to somebody and asking them to be involved in a study where, you know, we're looking at before and after effects in a kind of semi-controlled environment, right? You're going to have a list of instructions, and inviting them to participate in that and really just evaluate in a pre and post manner. It's just not, it's not intimidating, and people don't immediately assume, they're not all automatically on the defensive about, I don't want to buy anything. Well, okay, you don't have to buy anything. Like, of course, we always say, right, nobody ever has to buy anything. Nobody's ever saying that. But when we're asking someone to sample a product that they know that we're selling, there's a different feeling between that relationship, right? So when you're asking someone to participate in a study, it's at the very beginning. So that is one reason you should be really excited to participate and to use this as a strategy. At its heart, it is a recruiting strategy, right? We're looking to find people who will try the oils to have an experience. That's still the goal. But no matter where you are in your business, whether you're just starting out in your business, or when we were in Prague, and I was diamond already when I was in Prague, and the way that Elise presented this strategy to us was that she said, what would you say if I could tell you that no matter where you are in your business, whether you've been doing the business for 8 years or 2 months, that you could go out immediately and find 20 new people to teach today or within the week? Like, at any time that you wanted to, anytime you wanted to say, I want to find 20 new people, that you could do it. And that's pretty interesting to a lot of us, especially who have been doing this for a long time, because it always feels like, well, I already asked all my people. But the truth is that you just sometimes need a new angle. This is that angle, and it's that way to break down that initial, just that initial sales feeling where they say, okay, I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to try it because it's a study. We're just looking at before and after. So that's one really great reason that it's an opportunity that's different from what we typically have.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that there's sort of this innate human element where when someone gives us something for free, we feel like there has to be an exchange, right? So when we just give people samples, they feel like subconsciously, what's the exchange? They need a sale. And with this, we're actually asking them for an exchange. We're asking them for feedback. And that's something people can give freely and they love to give. So it feels like such a win to them. Like, all we're asking for is feedback for their free things. So they opt into that education process and trying the product process for the sake of feedback. And if that's all they give us, then that's fine. That was the arrangement. But we just know that the oils, like, when people use them, they fall in love with them and they have great experiences and they sell themselves. And so it's naturally a point where they're ready to get oils. They want to find out how to get oils by the end. And it just works so well. So I'm going to run through the process and the supplies for a study, okay? And I'm just going to give you a brief outline of the steps involved and the different components of it. And then I'll break down a couple of those in more detail on how to actually do them on this call in a little bit. But the first step is to make sure you have your supplies stocked. And I say first because sometimes if you don't have what you need to get it ordered and account for time to get those supplies shipped to you, and then get it all organized so that when you invite people in and you're ready to get started, like right before the study, you're going to actually give them their samples. So the supplies that you need are sample bottles. I like these little, what are these, quarter drams? You can get these. I usually order them from Aroma Tools or Oil Life. You don't need the bigger ones. You just need the tiniest size. And you'll just need a whole bunch of those. And then we're really recommending these books. These come from doTERRA now. They're brand new. You can get them right in your back office, and they're really inexpensive to get. And it's called the Healthy Can Be Simple Guide. And these are really nice to give with samples no matter what, anytime. But it'll be nice because we can point some things in this book as we're educating on the Facebook group for the study participants. But it's got information about a lot of basic oils and about oils that are in some of the kits. It's got LLV information. And so it's going to start to get them thinking about other oils besides the 2 oils that they're sampling. It starts to broaden their understanding of how essential oils can work. They're just beautiful. They work really well. And you can put your information on the back. And so this just makes a really nice set to give someone, and it feels very professional and official. So each participant gets 2 samples with, I think, 20 drops of oil in each one. And depending on the health category study they choose from, that's going to determine which oils they get. And we have that all laid out for you. When we run a study, we run it with 4 different health topics. And each participant will select 1 out of the list of 4. They will not participate in more than 1. So they may choose like a pain study or a sleep or a mood and stress. We may, as we do these, we may change some of those health categories, but we will give you plenty of lead time so that you can get supplies ordered. So let's say you're doing digestive support. Then our samples are peppermint and digestin. Okay, so 20 drops of each. That's what you're giving them. Pain is a little differently because we like to include the deep blue sample packet. So we do Aroma Touch and we do deep blue rubs. So you will want to, if it's a session that's including pain and discomfort, you will want to stock the deep blue rub sample packs. You can get those in your back office as well. I think it's, $5 for 10 of them? Do I have that right? They're inexpensive to have too. So pain will get a oil sample and a packet. The rest are just 2 oil samples. Unless we come up with anything new, we'll let you know. And then make sure you grab the list. We have it posted right on the Freedom Tree, and it's a nice graphic. It has the 4 different listings of the health topics with exactly how many drops and which oils to put in their sample kit. So you will want to make sure you have enough to fill sample bottles for as many people as you're wanting to participate. You may want to stock extra if you're kind of open to getting as many people in as you can, because you don't know if you're going to have 15 people pick pain and discomfort and 2 pick digestive. You just don't know the ratios. So I like to kind of over prepare and have those oils stocked if possible. And if you run out and you just can't take any more for a certain health issue, then say, well, I already have all of my samples for that one are gone, but I have some for some of these other health issues. Would you like to try something for sleep? And just see. And if you really run into an issue with that, ask wellness advocates around you. You might be able to swap up some samples and make sure people get them in their hands. So those are the supplies to order ahead of time. The only other thing to think of is if you're mailing if you're doing any long distance, which I'll teach you on here how to do long distance participants. But if you do have long distance participants, then you need to be inviting on the earlier side so that you know, and you need to be able to ship these ahead of time so they have them in time for the first day of the study. So you may want to get bubble envelopes, mailing envelopes, just small ones to ship this. And then I like to just wrap these in a small bubble wrap. I save them when I get my oils from doTERRA. Those sticky strips are really nice. Just wrap like half of one around your 2 sample bottles and then put it in a bubble envelope and you're good to go. It's inexpensive to mail. So those are your supplies, and your first step is to get supplied. Your second step is to build your list of people you want to invite and start inviting. So we have help for you on the Freedom Tree Facebook group. You can find a post with a sample invitation. This is a graphic. It's just an image that you can download right onto your phone, and then you have it there to send in a text message, to send in a Facebook message. You can easily invite people that way. It's kind of nice when you're messaging someone to give them a visual aid. It captures their attention. They can go back and see it easily and go, wait, when are the dates for that? Or what are the 4 choices I get to pick from? But you don't want to just send them the graphic. It doesn't have a lot of information on it. It's just a general image. It's just a graphic with the title on it and a few words. So you really want a personal message to go with that. And Angela's actually going to go through the inviting process in a minute, but the resources are there. So don't freak out. We're going to help you with that. And then you need to plan your events. So the main portion of the education will be done for you on the Facebook group, but you will be providing a pre-study orientation event and a post-study event. And I'm going to go through both of those in a bit and tell you what will be included in that. They're pretty easy, but you definitely want to get them scheduled. And if you're inviting a lot of people in, you may want to schedule more than one of each of those, because if it doesn't work for someone, then they have some choices of which one to go to. You can also just schedule one of each, and and if they can't make it, then you schedule one-on-one times to meet with them. So your pre-study orientation needs to happen before the first day of the study. I suggest having it within the first few days before or the night before. And then your post-study event needs to happen directly after the study is concluding. You could do it on the very last day of the study. You could do it the next day following, or within probably about 2 days of that. And in between those events is this actual study. They're going to use their product for 10 days. They're going to be guided, and they're going to be on a Facebook group. So they do need to be able to connect to the Facebook group, because that's where the education is. And then I'm going to have posts, probably have some leaders on there helping to educate. We'll be giving them information about the oils they're using. We'll be directing them. This is what you're putting on today. This is how you're putting it on, reminding them how to do it. And then we're going to add extra education about things that maybe they aren't trying, like frankincense or LLV or something like that, to just expand their mind and some of the basic things about using oils. We're going to have a lot of interaction so that they can start sharing their stories. Now, here's just the beautiful part of this. We have people trying samples for 4 different health topics, but they all get dropped into the same Facebook group. And so you might have someone trying oils for sleep, but they're looking on the Facebook group and they're hearing all these incredible testimonials about how someone's heartburn is helped with their peppermint oil, or someone else that's feeling less stressed. So it begins to expand their mind. They don't think, oh, oils are just good for a few things. They start to realize you could use these in all kinds of areas, and think of people in their family that could use them and different things they could use them for. So by the end of these 10 days, guess what? They've had powerful experiences and they want oils. They're running out of their samples and they're ready to get oils. So it just leads them right into the point of being ready to hear how to purchase. So at our post-study event, that's where they're going to have that. And then the final phase is follow-up. You have to be committed to the follow-up. So that's basically the cycle. That's the samples. That's kind of the general layout of the studies. I'm going to have Angela go over with you some techniques to good inviting, so that you can get your participants to say yes, because that's really important, right? So Angela, would you talk to us a little bit about good inviting techniques and practices?
Absolutely. So definitely the first, even though it seems really obvious to say, the most important part of inviting is to actually personally invite someone. So the biggest no is to just put it on your Facebook page and say, we're doing some studies. If anybody wants to participate, message me. Let me know. Comment here, right? Like, you might get a person or two who comments and says, yeah, I might be interested. But if you are relying on this to collect people for you, it is going to be very ineffective. You need to be more proactive. You need to create an actual list with 20 to 30 people on the list, okay? And you're going to contact that person directly via phone. Depending on your relationship, you might be able to get away with texting, but it's kind of individual to the relationship there. But phone is always going to be more personal. You could shoot them a text that says, I've got a quick question, give me a call. Okay, this is a really good way to get somebody to call you back. You're not telling them why, you're not telling them what it's about, but they're going to call you back when you text and say, I've got to let you know something, give me a call back, or I've got a quick question, give me a call back, okay? Or you can just call them directly and say, I've got a great opportunity, I wondered if you'd like to hear about it. I think that when you're inviting also, you are shooting yourself in the foot if you don't invite them to invite other people while you're inviting them. So after you've invited them, right, when you are saying, would you like to participate, and say, we've got these great studies going on, you can choose, we have 4 different topics, and we're trying to study the before and after effects of these oils. And we'd love for you to be a participant. All you have to do is, you do need to let them know what the requirements are to get the samples, right? To get the materials, you have to come and meet with me at a class at the beginning, and then you're going to use the oils just as we talk about, and then you come back at the end and fill out a survey at the end as well. Would you be willing to if you'd like to do the study, would you be able to commit to those parts of the study? Kind of get their commitment, get their buy-in in the process. And then you can let them know that you have a few more spaces open for the study, and that if they know anyone who they think might be a good, might be interested or might be a good participant for the study, you would love to invite them as well. You only have a limited number of spaces for the study, which is true because you only have so many samples, right? And you would love for them to, do they know anybody? And you need to know soon because these spaces are going to be filling up, okay? If you don't ask that last question at the end, then you've invited someone, but you missed out on 2 or 3 additional participants. So that's an important part of inviting. But the major thing that you cannot skip is just that personal interaction, right? You need to let them know why you thought of them, why you thought that they might be interested, and let them know that this is really an opportunity for them to try some products for free, and you get to help out with our results and help us to see what the before and after effects are of a lot of our great oils. Also, we do have some, Tanya, you said that there's some scripts that
there's
we can
a couple
put.
sample scripts if they do, like if you have someone that you don't have a phone number and you need to Facebook message them, that might be an opportunity where you use a script. But I think even in that case, you could use Angela's technique and say, I have a really cool thing to tell you about. Can you give me a quick call? Here's my phone number, because sometimes people don't have phone numbers if they're just Facebook friends. So you could still use that as well. But there is a post. If you're just needing a little help with some language, you can grab that and just sort of tweak it and customize it and personalize it.
And it seems more scary. It seems, everybody we all just want to text. We all just want to shoot that text out there, put it out there, and then wait and see what happens. Because then when someone reaches back out to us, we know they really want it, right? We know that they're happy about it and they've accepted your invitation. And when you're on the phone, it's a lot more risky. It feels more risky. But the truth is that the rewards will be much greater, because what we think is that people are just going to be upset with us or not like our idea or something. But in reality, when you're just talking to somebody who you know and you're offering them an opportunity, most of the time they're interested.
Yeah.
And they want that opportunity.
I've heard it said, like, let's say you had tickets to your favorite, like, professional sports team, like big game or something, or a concert for like a really well-known band, and you ended up with extra tickets. Would you feel awkward picking up the phone to call your friends to say, hey, I've got extra tickets. I don't want them to go to waste. Do you want these? Like, it's an incredible opportunity, right? You're doing them a favor. So you're not going to fiddle around with trying to dance around it and send awkward text messages. You're going to be like, hey, I got to tell you all about this. I got hooked up with these tickets and someone needs to use them and you want to come. You're excited. It's an urgency. You don't want them to miss out. And so your mannerisms completely change because you see this as something awesome for them that you're hooking them up with. And that's the same attitude we need with inviting people to studies is enthusiasm. Like, I've got this awesome opportunity and I can only give this to so many people, and you want in on it. So you create that value, you create that urgency, and you don't have anything to feel ashamed or awkward about to avoid having that conversation, because that personal connection is powerful, and how your voice is sounding in excitement is really just powerful and attractive for people. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the pre-study orientation and the post-study event. So this is event number 1, event number 2. So think of these as bookends, all right? So the study is kind of like the books, the Facebook group. The 10 days in the Facebook group is like the books, and these are the bookends, all right? So we're talking about bookend number 1, bookend number 2. So bookend number 1 is your pre-study orientation. We call this an orientation, not a class, because they're coming to learn how to be a study participant. So if you were in a real professional, like medical study, you would expect to have to be educated on what you're supposed to do, right? So this is in their context. Like they think study, yes, it makes sense that I would have to be at an orientation. I'm going to have to pick up my supplies. So you just let them know the orientation is where you pick up your supplies and we go over how to use them and give you the instructions for the study. Sounds simple enough, right? So again, you're going to have this before the study begins, and that's where you're going to deliver their samples, unless it's a long distance participant in which you would have to pre-mail them out. For the most part, focus on local and have local events so that you're face-to-face and you're interacting with them. And we like to have them in a group so that they start to get that community feel and they start to experience something called social proof. Social proof is a big part of studies from the beginning to the end. It's watching what everyone else around you is experiencing. It's hearing their stories. It's hearing them talk about what they're experiencing with the oils, but it's also, even at the beginning, hearing their enthusiasm. You know, someone says, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. I can't believe I get to be in this because I've heard essential oils are really great, or my friend had this great experience. I've been wanting to try these. That alone right there starts to create value in their mind, social proof. Like these are good. I'm going to like these. They start to convince themselves that I'm going to have good results. I'm going to like these. And then through the Facebook group, they're going to be seeing so many testimonies. We are going to have hundreds, if not thousands of people in this group. And we're going to be asking them questions and they're going to be sharing what they experienced. And most of them, it'll be their first time. Do you remember what it was like when you experienced peppermint for the first time? It was like, wow. And they're going to be asked to share that on the Facebook group. We're going to have posts where we're doing giveaways for them sharing. So we're going to get them to open up and spill it and talk about what they're experiencing. And that social proof will just build. So at the orientation meeting, this is what you're going to go over. I want you to think of it as the content is the same as the beginning part of a class. But you're not going to finish out the class with the whole closing and how to order. You're not going to talk about ordering at all. You're not going to talk about kits. You're just going to talk about what is an oil. I like to go over the 3 cool things about oils. That means they're safer. Explain why they're safer briefly. They're more effective and they're cheaper. So that gets people's attention right there. They're safer, more effective, and cheaper. And then the 3 ways to use the oils, which aromatic, topical, and internal. And let them know about CPTG and why doTERRA oils are different, that they're not going to get the same thing running down to the store and picking up oils. And then you want to do some show and tell. Make sure that you get some oils out, get that peppermint out, get that on them, let them experience the On Guard or just a couple oils that maybe aren't what they're being sampled so that they have those like powerful experience smelling them and going, wow, that's amazing. And then you're going to show them how to use their samples. So you're going to say, those of you who are using the oils for digestion, this is how you're going to be using them. This is when we say apply the oil topically, we're going to be, rubbing it on here. Or if it's for mood and stress, you're going to show them like, pulse points over your heart, on the bottoms of your feet. We might ask you to put on your wrists or under your nose, and it's just 1 drop, and you're just going to apply and you're going to show them. A lot of people need that visual. So you're going to tell them how to use it. You're going to give them their instructions, which we'll provide to you. And their instructions will say day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So they know, okay, sometimes we have them try one and wait on the other one. And then we have them try the other oil. And then we might have them try both of the oils. We just mix it up so it feels very like a protocol. And they can kind of see, well, do I have a better experience with this one or this one? Or and then we let them do some self-experimentation with it as well. So they're going to hear about it on the Facebook group, but they're also just going to have a list that tells them a schedule of what they're using when. So they don't feel unprepared. They know exactly what to do. And then you're also going to go over commitments for the post-study event. Okay, so you want to make sure that they are all RSVP'd to your post-study event. And if anyone cannot make that event, then you want to make sure you're getting them scheduled for a one-on-one appointment with you. And that goes for the first event too. If they cannot make it, schedule a one-on-one appointment. Do not give anyone their samples without them attending that meeting and committing to the second meeting, because if they don't go to those, they don't end up enrolling and you're wasting your samples. So it's a study, and that gives you an excuse to really make some strict rules. And you can just say, these are the rules of the study. Like if there's any place a person would expect to have really strict guidelines, it's in a study, right? So they don't feel weird about that at all. You just have to say you're required to go to the orientation. You're required to be scheduled for the post study meeting. And then I'm allowed to give you your samples. So that way they go through all of the steps. You are also going to want to have them take the pre-study survey. I'll be providing a link to you. Everything's going to be on the Freedom Tree Facebook group. If you have questions, talk to your direct upline, or you can always post on that group, and we'll make sure you're finding those resources. But it's just a link. You're going to give it. In fact, at the class, what I would do is just get everyone's phone numbers in your phone and just text them the link while you're standing right there, so it pops up on their phone, and then they're going to click it and they're going to fill out the study online. And that way it all gets collected into a Google Doc, and we get graphs and charts, and it asks them some pre-questions. And then there's a post-study survey that at your second meeting, you'll be having them fill in the post-study survey. And that's going to give us our final results, which will go up on the Facebook group shortly. We'll probably do it maybe 2 or 3 days later after the study, once we have most of the results in, to kind of share. And like that goes beyond social proof. Now they're going to see data. And I can promise you the data is going to be overwhelmingly positive, which is really exciting for them to see. They see, you know what they believe? Oh my gosh, these oils really work. They wondered, and now they know that they really work. Do you think they're going to be ready to buy oils when they know they really work? They totally are. Okay, at your first meeting, make sure that you're getting them all added to the Facebook group. So we want to get them in right at the beginning, because we want to start to rally them and get them prepped to start in the morning. And don't worry, we're watching the Facebook group. If there's any random person that's negative or having a bad experience, we're going to pull that conversation into a private conversation and work with them and make sure that they get adjusted to have a good experience. We're not going to let it kill the social proof. We really watch this carefully, and it's going to be positive, positive, positive. It's going to be great. So you'll get them added there. And then let's say the 10 days are over. You've let us educate. During that time, it's so easy for you. You really aren't doing much except checking that Facebook group, helping to jump in and answer questions or comment or give an encouragement here or there, but we're all working together to do that. Feel free to encourage other people's participants. You don't just have to interact with your own, and be open to having other wellness advocates encourage yours. And then you're going to be following up and just checking on them about every 2 days through the study. You're going to give them a call or a text message, and calls are great if you can, if they are a phone person, and just say, you know, how are you doing so far? What results are you having? The more they vocalize their positive results, the more they're selling those oils to themselves, and they need to feel cared for. During this time, not only are they getting education, they are seeing that you know what you're doing. They're seeing that you are someone that will take care of them. They're building a relationship with you. They're feeling connected to you. They're feeling supported by you. So of course they're going to want to enroll with you when the time comes, right? They're also seeing that you're connected to a team that provides great education and support, which is really attractive to people as well. Okay, at the post-study event, you're going to go through these steps. You're going to have them do their post-survey. It's a pretty short event. You're going to be in and out 20, 30 minutes. And then you're going to go through the last part of a class, which is the close. That is talking to them about purchasing options. So I would just bring it up like this. You're going to have them do the survey, and then you're going to say, actually, I might save the survey. I might go through this and save the survey just so nobody jumps up and goes, well, I'm done with my survey. I got to leave early. I would save that. But you're going to say now, for those that are wanting to get oils, or for those that have been wondering, this is a question I like to always, because it presumes and it assumes that people have been asking about how to get oils, which usually they are. And I just say, for those of you who have been wondering how to get oils of their own, I'm going to show you some different buying options. Okay. And that's when I go into, you can purchase retail or you can purchase wholesale. And you want to show them the kits and explain how that works and use good closing language. If you are new to teaching classes and you need practice learning how to use the right language to close well, then I recommend going back and watching my video, How to Teach a Great Class, and pay attention to that closing part and pick up some of those phrases and just practice. And then don't be afraid to jump in. You won't get it perfect. I promise you, you won't get it perfect, but you don't need perfect. Imperfect action brings success and results. So just be willing to do it, right? To do it. So you're going to go over how to purchase, how to enroll, and you're going to have a lot of time of testimony so that they can open up and share as a group. So this is why it's the best if you can get everybody in the same room together in the group, because, and this is a great opener actually. Sorry, I'm kind of skipping all around in the class, but a great opener is to have them start sharing their experiences and their testimonies. So that's how I would open the class. Then I would talk about, for those of you who have been wondering how to get oils, I'm going to show you some different options on how to buy. We have retail, we have wholesale. Emphasis is on wholesale, emphasis is on kits. And then you're going to give them their thank you gift. Now, their thank you gift is something you are providing. So plan this out ahead of time. This might be part of your supply stocking. It doesn't have to be expensive. A really inexpensive gift is to just make a homemade product with the oils. That's something that isn't something they would buy anyway. Make a roller blend, make a bath bomb, make a pillow spray, something that's inexpensive like that. Or a bottle of wild orange. If you buy the class in the box and get all the wild oranges, that's like $2.50. So do something basic as their thank you gift. Now, we talk about the thank you gift throughout the study. We'll say your wellness advocate has a thank you gift for you when you get to your post-study event. And that's to get them to the event. That's so that they don't fizzle out at the end. We will never say what the gift is because that's a surprise. And we'll even say it's a surprise thank you gift. So you don't have to tell them ahead of time what it is. And you won't be committed to any specific gift. You get to decide what it is and surprise them with it. But here's what you do need to do. With whatever you pick for the gift, you need to include a coupon. And just make this up. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just make something up and print it and say, this is your thank you coupon. It's part of your thank you gift. Everyone that participates in the study with me gets this thank you coupon. This is an enrollment incentive. So you're going to say, because you completed this study and you gave us your valuable feedback, I want to thank you with this roller ball or whatever you're giving them and with this special coupon. That is only offered to the study participants. So it's going to be, if you enroll with 100 PV or with a kit, whatever you want to do, then you get this extra thing for free. Just something small. Just something small can be a perk. It might be a book. It might be a keychain. It might be even just a wild orange. Whatever you can swing, just give them a freebie, and the coupon expires in 48 hours. That's really important. So for the next 48 hours, I do have this special for only my study participants. Why do we say only? Because we want to make this feel exclusive and special. Like it's a gift to them because we're so grateful for their help. So give them the coupon. I like to print them out and just have them in their hands, just some sort of coupon so they can remember what it is. Chances are you will have people enrolling that night. But if they don't, then it comes with the follow-up. So you want to follow up with them during that 48-hour period of time, and you need to gently remind them the deadline on the coupon is coming up. It's going to expire on this date. And are you interested in getting oils? Do you have any questions? Those kind of things. Get the conversation going. So you will generally see people that enroll right at the event, and then you may see some people that trickle in later with good follow-up. But the follow-up is key. So let's see, did I cover it all for the event? The testimonies, the closing, and the survey, and the free gift. That's what you need to do. It's pretty quick then. And then follow-up. So that's kind of how you run the events, and have fun with them. Make them very interactive. That's really key. Make them really interactive. Make them short as well. You don't have to drag it all out. So we're actually going to open it up now to our leaders. I'm going to see, I think I've got you all, or at least most of you, muted. So if you're ready to jump in, hit your unmute if you can, and if you have any trouble, type it in and I'll unmute you. And we're just going to make this like, what do they call it, popcorn style, like just pop up and share. These are all silver and above leaders on our team. I put it out there to see who could jump on tonight, and we had several that really wanted to share what they're excited about, or if they've run studies before, how they've worked. But mainly, I want you to hear from our leaders and why they're really behind this, and they are getting their teams involved, and they themselves are using this to keep enrolling and growing their businesses. So if you jump on, identify yourself, tell us who you are, and share your thoughts.
Okay, Tanya, can you hear me?
Yes, we have Ramona here, I think. Yes.
Okay, yes. I'm just saying, I did the one study, it was on sleep and stress. Seems like it was this past summer. And so I really love that you are offering multiple options for the studies, because I found that with it last time, I didn't realize this, but until I got into the study, had a couple of people say to me, oh, really, to be honest with you, I have never had trouble sleep. And so I love now that I don't have to go through people say, do you have trouble sleep or stress? Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. And keep moving on to people. I love that I have these options. So I think this is going to be work just like way better. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you. We're excited, Kirk and I, that you're doing all this prep work for us. And we're very excited about that. So yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm seeing some places where we can reach people that we might not have had let's just see, not as easy as this will be for us.
Yeah. Yeah, that really goes back to some of the trial and error and fine tuning that we've done, because we did find that once we started doing it with the 4 options, it was way better. We cast a big net out there and got a lot of people. So thank you for sharing that, Ramona.
Yes, and definitely too, I think the way you're doing it with the event in front of, I remember my challenge was like trying to get samples to people, and did they try them yet? I just feel like this is going to create so much more value by having that event up front and at the end like that.
So that brings up a good point, because another trial and error thing we did is we first did it through videos. We made videos like this teaching the 2 different events, and it did not work. It was a flop. So when we went and we did it the way we were taught with live events, the enrollment rate was huge. It was high. So the live events is very important. So do not record your events. Now, if you have long distance participants, you're going to have to use a technology like this. You're going to have to use Facebook Live in private group or something, or just with your study participants, or you're going to have to use Zoom like we're using, or Google Hangouts or Skype or something to teach it. But you still need to require them to be on live viewing with you live. So they have that interaction, and that they actually were there present for the whole experience. If you have to schedule someone long distance for a one-on-one, use the video conferencing still and have it one-on-one. It's just more powerful. And we find that where the process gets lost is when you have them watch recordings. They don't pay attention to them. They don't watch them enough. They don't feel that personal touch. And the more often you can get them in a group, the better, because the more social proof you have. Okay. Sorry, that reminded me of that point I wanted to go over, and that definitely was part of our trial and error. All right, does anyone else want to share?
Hey, Tanya, it's Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, I just wanted to say I had done a study in the summer, just to kind of confirm what you mentioned. I had done a study in the summer and didn't really know what I was doing, that plop people into this Facebook group, and it didn't really turn out profitable, with many people. Then I did it after we got back from Prague with you, and it was like people came out of the woodwork that I had no idea would even be interested in it. I, made my list and thought, okay, well, I'm going to ask again, people who I thought maybe wouldn't want to sample, or who didn't want to sample in the traditional method, came out, and I had tremendous success a lot of people that, they've had some really significant life-changing experiences from the oils as a result. So it changed their lives by doing it, and it really impacted my business positively.
That's awesome. It goes to show that, it's the secret's in the details, and it took me a while to get it right too, but I think we've got kind of a magic secret sauce now. And that's why we want to open it up to everyone so that they don't have to figure all that out. They can just plug people in and have success. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else have a thought? Okay, we're going to keep going then, just so that to keep this from getting too long. We just have a couple more points to help you out with, and then you're going to be ready to roll. So, Angela, I did want to have you talk a little bit about the importance of setting a goal for how many participants. If a wellness advocate builder is thinking, yeah, I think I want to do this. Why, how does setting a goal help? And can you give an example of what that looks like?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think that, anytime that we go into something with a plan, typically you are going to work to carry out that plan. If you come into the study and just kind of willing ask people, you might get a few participants, but if you go into it saying, I'd really like to have 15 to 20 of my own people participate, you know that you need to make your list from the beginning with 30 people.
Yeah.
Because some aren't going to be able to do it, some aren't going to pan out. And so if you want to have 15 to 20 people of your own new contacts that could potentially enroll at the end of this study, then you need to be 30 people on your list. And just setting that as a benchmark, not only is it going to motivate you a little bit to create that list to say, okay, well, if I want to get this many, how many do I start with, and who are those people going to be? So you're going to have to actually make that list. But in the end, you will end up doing much more than you would have done had you not made the goal, in my opinion. Even if you don't achieve it, like let's say someone says, I'm going to get 50. Well, okay, that's great. You're going to have to invite 75. And what if you land on 35? That's pretty impressive. So, reach up a little bit, reach toward that goal. And I do want to encourage people too to just share their goal with their enroller or with their upline who's building, some kind of mentor, encouraging person, just for a little bit of accountability. It's so fun that we can do this all together, and I'm super excited to do it all together. And it is, especially for newer builders, it's a really great way to really get some great momentum behind some of your new contacts and kind of jump into something that feels really big, and it is really big. And invite people in a way that is, like we said, not so intimidating, but share with your upline what you're going for, because they can give you some accountability and some encouragement along the way when you need it, and tips on kind of how to just go about the details if you need them. And the last thing I wanted to just add in there is that I do think that there is I've heard some back, and I've even thought it myself a little bit, like, is there an aspect, we keep saying it's not a medical study, and we know that, right? But I think people don't want to feel that they're misleading people either. And it's important for you to feel like your integrity is not, that you're not being misleading to people. And I would just encourage people to really present it as a team-wide study. On our team, we are studying the before and after effects of these different ailments within our community. You're not implying at all that it's some kind of medical community. And it does bring in the aspect that it's our team with doTERRA. People know we do doTERRA. This is what it is. And so I just want to encourage people to have confidence in their language there, because you don't have to feel like you're misleading people when you are clear about what it is. And what it is a study.
Yeah, and I've actually had participants express that they thought it was really cool that we as a team of wellness advocates were interested in learning more about people's results so that we could do our jobs better. Like they thought that that was impressive, and it really showed that we took our role as teachers really, really seriously. So I agree. And I love that language about this is for our team of wellness advocates are studying the results of these oils. And they're happy to help with that. So it's really great. I agree. Accountability. I mean, I'm a Blue Diamond, and my upline, Melissa Morgan's a Blue Diamond, and I still report to her, you know, what my goals are, like what my enrollment goals are, what those, because it's harder for me to let myself off the hook if I've reported it to someone else. I'm just going to push myself a little harder. So I think, you know, set your goal high, stretch yourself a little bit, because the beautiful thing about this is it's an easy process. And if you're going to do it, you might as well do it with more people, because you're going to go through the steps anyway. And it duplicates really well on your team. So not only do you want to enroll people, but you want to have other people doing studies on your downline eventually, right? So you want to create good stories for them to say, you guys, I set this high goal for studies and I hit it, and I had this many people in, and this is what it did in my business. And it's going to duplicate tenfold and beyond, because people want to follow in your footsteps. So don't play small, play big. And even if you don't quite hit your goal, you're going to get farther along with that high set goal, like Angela said. So that's really fantastic. So maximizing this opportunity, I'm just going to end with just encouraging you to put in that personal touch, be thoughtful and plan, and really, really be committed to the follow-up, and to do the follow-up timely, and to make sure that you are learning how to close well and follow up well, and just ask people directly, are you interested in getting oils? If you want to order, I can help get that pushed through for you by the deadline. Those kind of things, so you're actually not dancing around it, not acting ashamed or embarrassed, just asking them. And if they say no, thank them for being in the study, be gracious about it, and I'll be glad that they had a great experience, and move on. There's other people. And if they say yes, it's such a win. You never know. You might find your next rock star builder through this study. So get it in front of as many people as you can, and let's maximize it. So I hope I covered everything. If there's any major blaring questions hanging out there, if any of you on the call noticed that we forgot to cover a detail, or we left a question hanging, I'm just going to say now we could do a little Q&A, and if there isn't, we'll end. But anyone have any key questions they want to ask? Nothing. Okay, good. I think we covered it all. Thank you for sharing, for all the leaders that hopped on here to share, and thank you so much, Angela, for being willing to help train our team.
Thank you. This was really a lot of fun.
It's going to be so great. I'm like giddy with excitement to see how this is going to run through the next year. It's going to be explosive for the people that jump in. So we're really excited to partner with all of you. Let's make this big. It's going to be awesome. Bye, everyone.